Like what?
We need to use some web service. Okay, what is the web service? Usually, the web service is, see, here I have one link. In this link, I have some information.
Okay.
I have some information. Actually, this is what one URI. So I found this URI from net. Okay, now what I'm doing here. So whenever I hit this URI, usually I get
Mhm.
some data. Whenever I hit
Okay.
this URI, I'll get some data. See, now the URI is wrong. That's why I got this. Just I need to
Mhm.
remove something. Yes, see. Could you observe? Here we got some data.
Yeah.
Suppose in what type of application we need to use. We have a YouTube application in our device, right?
Yes.
But the list of devices, from where we are getting those list of devices? Okay, from server we are getting that YouTube videos release. Those details will store in somewhere. Okay, we need to pull. Means whenever we want to connect with some service is called simply web service, which provides some data. Okay, then in
Okay.
Android we need to use some procedure. First one, public
Mhm.
class, somewhat class extends activity, otherwise extends app compared activity. So whenever you extend the app compared activity, just override on create method. Just have override on create method. Next one, on create only bundle is enough. This is some other method. I don't want this. Yes. Yeah. Just creates one class. Okay. So whenever you want to do some network related operation, see here actually this is what one URL. Now what I'm doing here in utils, in my utils, uh, okay. Otherwise in training, okay, in utils itself, new Java class constants constants. I've created one class called constants. Here
Okay.
public static final string service underscore URL equals to some data. This is the URL. Whenever I call this URL, it will return some data. It will return some data. Okay, so here
Mhm.
what I want to do, I want to write some more method inside the my utils. So I want to load the data. I want to load the data. To load the data, here we need to use some methods, sorry, some predefined classes. So currently now I'm putting name as public void load data. The purpose of the load
Okay.
data is, my intention is, whenever I call this method data, this method should return some data. But the
Okay.
data should be available on the server. So to do that, first here we need to specify from which URL you want to download. Okay, from which URL. So to create that URL, just URL equals to URL dot to or new URL URL URL, sorry, URL dot parse, I think. See, here there are two URLs. One is URI, another one is URL. So I'm going to use URI. Which one we need to use? URL, new URL. Okay, see. URL equals to new URL of some URL we need to give. See, whenever I'm using, okay, URL, okay. somewhat path I am saying here. Control C, Control V. So whenever we use this URL, it throws one exception. What is the name of the exception? Java.net.
Unhandled Java net not null.
Try catch mail format URL exception. Yes. Okay. So after this URL, here we have one more class. Yes, URL dot open connection. URL dot open connection means it will open connection simply.
Yeah, when we type the URL, it will open the connection.
Yeah. So no, you need to say URL dot open connection. You need to say URL dot open connection. Whenever I'm
Okay.
calling the URL dot open connection, it throws which exception?
Unhandled Java.
No.
Java
IO
dot
exception.
over exception.
IO exception. So IO exception means input output exception.
Okay.
Yes. Input output exception. URL equals to new URL. URL dot open connection means it will get the URL. Next one.
Okay.
URL connection equals to URL connection. Okay. See, the
Okay.
first one is okay. So usually it will give the URL connection. Now I want to modify as HTTP.
HTTP. Hmm.
Okay. Here HTTP URL connection equals to usually URL dot open connection returns URL open URL. Now I'm converting into HTTP connection.
HTTP.
So this connection dot get connection dot, I think we need to say the connect. Whenever I say the connect, if you observe here, see, the connect not returning anything. So here after connection, so connection dot get to response code into response code. Okay, simply
Okay.
just for information, I'm going to print log tag and load data response code. Just I'm going to print the response code here public static final string tag equals to minus. Okay. So this response code, if response code double equals to HTTP URL connection dot to HTTP underscore okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then my connection object dot to get input stream means it will return one input stream object which contains the data. It returns
Okay.
which contains the data means whatever data you are seeing when you are opening the data in the browser. Here we got some data.
Mm-hmm.
That data will get in the form of input string. In the form of input string. Okay, so whatever data we are getting, that data is in the input stream. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to convert that data from stream to string. So for that, what I'm going to do here, private void convert stream to. So here input stream samaya. Okay, here what I need to do here. So now we need to know how to get the buffer reader buf equals to new buffer reader of I need to give input stream reader. So here thing is buffer reader cannot be applied to input stream. Okay, new input stream reader of ASM. Okay, now while your buffer dot read line not equals to null. Okay, now what I will do here, data equals to buffer dot read line. Okay, string data your buffer dot read line not equals to null. Open and closing brace. What is the issue here? Read line returns IO exception. So
Exception.
here, what I need to do here, try catch IO exception.
Exception.
Okay, so here what I am doing is convert stream to string. Simply take the input stream reader, and from the input stream reader, this is the procedure to get the data from the your stream. Okay, for that I am using an input stream reader. That input stream reader I am passing to buffer reader. Now your BUF object
Okay.
contains the data. From the buffer reader, I am reading the line by line. If the line is not null, then I am assigning it to data. Now, string buffer responsc equals to new string buffer. Now, your response dot to append data. Response dot to append of data. So whatever response I am getting, that data I am adding to my response. What I will do is, just for information purpose, tag response plus response. So whenever you call this method, you need to pass the input stream, and this is the method. So in this, I am taking the data from the input stream and giving the data to input stream reader, and that input stream reader object I am giving to buffer reader. From the buffer reader object, I am getting the line by line data. I am getting line by line data, and yes, yeah, line by line data. So finally, I'm adding those all data into the response. Finally, I'm printing the response. So finally, I need to say return your response dot to string, means here I will put some string object.
String.
Okay, why? Because finally I'm returning one string.
String.
If I get any error, return empty, and for log purpose, control C, control V, convert string to string, e dot to string, e dot to string. So simply I'm calling this convert string to string, private to static. Now what I want to do here after get the response, string response equals to convert string to string of ISR, ISR. This is what. Okay. So if I get any error, I need to print that one. Load data, some exception, e dot to string. Okay. Here also e dot to string. So see, whenever you call this method, Whenever you call this method, you need to pass the path, means from which URL you need to data, and URL equals to new URL, means here I have created URL object. Created URL object which contains the URL, means from which URL, means from which path you need given data. Now, HTTP URL connection equals to URL dot open connection, then returns one HTTP URL connection object. So now you have a connection object. Whenever you say connection dot connect, then we'll try to connect with specific URL. And after that, if you want to get the response code, get response code. Why? Because based on this response code, if it is okay, then only I'm trying to fetch the data. If it returns some other thing, the response code returns some other error. The response code will give some other error. See, just for information, I printed response code also. If the response code is okay, then connection dot get input string means get the data as input string. Get that as an input string. Now convert string to string. The convert string to string is method also was created by me. Simply I am passing the input string object. From where I got this input string object? This input string object I got from the HTTP URL connection. I am passing that input string object to this method, and it will get the data and it will convert into string. Finally it returns that string. Finally it returns that string. So finally string. Return on okay, what I'll do here, control C, control V, move this, so finally return response. Okay, so whenever you call this load data, simply it connect with some specific web service and it will get the data. So whatever data you are getting, the data you will get as a input stream. Now I am converting that input stream to up to this point
String.
here.
Mhm.
Next one more important thing is whenever doing this type of network related operations, inside your manifest before the application, use permission name equal to internet. Okay, add this permission. So when you are
Okay.
going to install your application will show list of permission. So in that one of the permission it will show as the internet. Whenever you give this
Mhm.
permission, then only you can do some network related operations in your circuit.
Okay.
Okay. Next, another important thing is actually in this project I have multiple activities. Now in this current scenario, I want to start this movies activity as a launcher activity. You just come to your manifest, copy this activity tag, paste it here, remove this. Yeah. So instead of user details, what I'll do here, yeah, oh, activity movies. Okay. Now this login activity I'm moving to here.
Activity.
Here, movies activity means whenever
Mhm.
run this my application. Now I'm going to start movies activity as a launcher activity.
Mhm.
Okay. Clear.
Yes, sir.
So go to movies activity. Now what I want to do here, movies activity. Go to resource, layout, right click, new, layout resource file, layout underscore movies. Just some I did something. So here what I need to do here, I need to put one button with match parent to height wrap content to
Type the word. Mm-hmm.
Android column layout underscore width to height to text to load data.
Movies.
Linear
Mm-hmm.
layout, I'm going to use relative layout. So this button is
Mm-hmm.
okay. One second. Yeah. So layout width is match parent height load data. Now what I want to do here, Android column on click, yeah, on click. So load data. So whenever you click this method in your activity, which activity, movies activity, you need to create one more
It will run.
load data. See, instead of on click listener, now I'm writing like this UV. So whenever you click that button, control comes to here. Next one, in activity movies, this is the layout movies, right? Relative layout. So here I'm taking one progress bar.
Mm-hmm.
Width I'm is giving a 50 dp and the height I'm giving 50 dp. And Android column ID I'm giving for this at the rate of plus ID by ID underscore progress. Next one,
Your video is tracked, actually.
sorry.
Your screen is tracked at
Okay.
private, and I can hear your voice. It's still at public. You're writing the code public.
No, 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 no. Maybe my network is a little bit slow, I think.
Okay.
From my side, it's showing okay, yeah. Poor network signals. Still same issue?
No, no, it's okay. I can see the wrap content text
Yes.
view.
Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
So, see, while I'm writing, I'm going to pronounce those.
Okay.
Android column text response and Android column id equals to at the rate of plus id by id underscore text to underscore response. Okay. Next one, for everything I'm
Okay.
going to give some id. Android column id equals to the rate of plus id by id underscore btn underscore load data. And for this progress bar id underscore, okay, already have id. And for this text view, and okay, for the Android column, this text view I want to place layout underscore below of at the rate of id by id underscore btn underscore loaded. Okay. Now on below of this, I'm taking one list view with match parent, height wrap content. Yes. Android column id equals to at the rate of plus id by id underscore list view underscore videos. Yes. So just come to here design. So this is what normal design. Load data button is there, and you have text
Mm-hmm.
view also. But the text view I'm placing below of this one, and this list view also I want to place Android column layout underscore below of
Text view.
no below of yes text view response
Button. Mm-hmm.
the rate of id by
Text, text view response.
yeah. Uh, this list view is below this text view and the text view should be below button.
Button.
Text view below okay button. So
That is correct.
okay, this is the text view. Just for example, just for color, the Android column background at the rate of Android column color, somewhat color I have given for background. Okay, this is the color. Okay, but now Android column text size 20 sp, Android column text color at the rate of Android color black. Remove this background color.
Okay.
Yes, this is the response. Okay, okay. Now come to your activities movies, and here set content view r dot layout dot layout movies. So whatever up to I did, that is what purely UI. Now here this is the code. So string response equals to what I need to do here. Your myutils dot to myutils. Okay. I've created one method. The method should be public. Yeah. Now activities movies mode dot load data. Here I need to pass constants dot to your service URL. Now one more important thing is in your manifest, in my manifest just I'm going to remove that internet permission. Let me try to run this program. Let's see what output you will get. Yeah, run this program. Yeah. See, now I'm going to click this. See, whenever I clicking this, see, here one more important background you are able to view the progress also. Now the
Mm-hmm.
progress bar I want to put in center of the screen.
Okay.
I'm closing
Yeah, we
all undeleted things.
can explain why we need to keep it as center.
Android colon uh, layout underscore center in parent true. Now let's see. See, you got the progress in a center. Next one,
Mm-hmm.
this progress bar instead of here, I'll put end of this screen so that it will come on top of all views.
Okay.
If my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Visible.
yeah. See, whenever I click this load data, nothing is happening. Yeah, my project got closed here.
Mm-hmm.
This is an Android training. See, whenever I'm clicking this, Android training keeps stopping. So, to
Mm-hmm.
find out that, go to your Android monitor and see some exception you are getting here.
95 and 25.
Legal state of exception and it reflect invocation target exception. At the same time,
Mm-hmm.
what is another exception? Network on main thread exception. Network on
Mm-hmm.
main thread exception.
In trade
Means whenever you are doing this type of network operations, we should not do on main thread. Means whenever you are doing like this, so always it will do on the main thread. It will perform your operations on main thread, but usually we should not do. The reason is while you're clicking the load data, it will go to some network service and it will load the data to implement that process. At least it will take some few seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so up to that many seconds, your activity will be blocked. Means it will give some error. Means your activity
Mm-hmm.
won't respond. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that case, whenever you are performing this type of operations, Whenever you are performing this type of operations, you need to perform those operations on background thread. In Android, need to run network operations on background thread. Okay. So whatever you are calling in your activity directly, whatever calling, that is what main thread. But you need to run those all background threads. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, how to run the things in background? So that case, what you need to do in Android, we have some class that is called asynchronous task. Class my task extends asynchronous task is taking some parameters. See, asynchronous task is taking some parameters. Three parameters it will take. See, first one is params, second one is the program, third one is a result. Okay, so params means what type of value you are going to pass. I'm going to pass one string value, and the return type I need to pass the string value also. Okay, return type also string, and the progress also string. Open and closing that. Okay, next one, see, insert index API code. What is it? See, here whenever I am doing this, it's showing some error. What is this? My async task must either be declared as abstract or implement abstract method of doing that. Means whenever you extend any asynchronous task, we should implement one method called doing background. We should implement one method
Mhm.
called doing background.
Doing background.
So in async task, we have mainly three methods. One is on pre-execute. Next one is a doing background. Next one is on post-execute. On post-execute. Okay, so on pre-execute means, so what next one, whatever you are writing inside the doing background will run in background thread, will run in background. So this
Background.
method, instead of this, I'm putting here. I'm putting here. Finally, here I need to return that response. Whatever response I am passing, that response I am receiving here. So whenever you start run this my asynchronous task, initially on pre-execute method will be called. In on pre-execute, private progress baru mp baru mp bar equals to progress baru find u by id r dot id dot id underscore progress. I got that progress.
Progress.
At the same time, I want the text view also. Text view response equals to text view find u by id r dot id dot id underscore text view response. I got this text view also. So
Mhm.
initially what I'm doing, my progress bar dot set visibility progress bar dot to just I'm setting gone initially. When user
Okay.
hits this, so whenever I'm calling the pre-execute, in pre-execute, I'm showing that progress as a visible. I'm showing that progress bar as a visible. At the same time, text view response dot set text message I'm showing loading data. Whenever you run this asynchronous task, first time on pre-execute method will be called. After on a pre-execute, doing background method will be called. After doing background, finally after completion of doing background, on post-execute method will be called. In on post-execute, again I'm closing the visibility and data loaded. Whatever data I loaded, that data I want to display inside the text view.
Okay.
Text view. See, async task is taking three parameters. One is, so here, okay, yeah, params of 0 I'm passing. See. So whenever you call this async task,
It will do three
my async
execution or
task
pre-execution.
equals
You
to
don't post execution.
new my async task, and your
Mm-hmm.
task dot to execute of new string of here constants dot to service URL. New string of control. Yes. See, I'm passing one string array. See, whenever you call this load data, I'm calling this async task. Async task is dot execute. Whenever you say execute, then call async task. Okay. Whenever you are calling this execute, control comes to this on pre-execute. See, here I have passed three parameters string, string, string. So string means
Mm-hmm.
here this green background I am passing one string parameter. Actually, here I'm
Mm-hmm.
passing some string array. Okay, this is what some params.
Mm-hmm.
From the params, here I have some multiple array. From the array, I'm getting the first value. I'm storing those value inside the response. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let me run this. Let's see. We should get some errors. I know what we need to do, but just for explanation, I am not giving something so that we will get some errors. We
Okay.
can implement. Okay.
Okay.
Click on load data. See, when I click the load data again, my browser got stopped. So
Mm-hmm.
click to here. See, what is the error we are getting? I have selected something. Hello?
Your video is like kind of slow.
Oh,
Okay, and now I got it. Missing internet permission.
yes. Okay. Then go to your where? Inside the app, inside the SRC, inside the main, there is manifest. Put use permissions. Just type internet. By default, it will come. Now again run. Complete.
Your video is stuck actually.
Okay, one second. Okay. See, now I'm
Okay.
going to press click load data. Now nothing was happened. I got some data. Did you observe? Hello.
Yeah, I go. I can see.
Okay, this is the data I got from the server. So just show
Okay.
you. Now, if I want to scroll this, just come to your layout movies. So, okay. Usually we don't. Okay. Okay. So anyway, I showed you some data, right?
Yeah, we can add like the scroll view, even
Scroll view
scroll
also, but
view.
here my intention, I don't want to display like data as it is. I need to
Okay,
do
you
something.
want to. Mhm.
Okay. So up to this part
Okay.
is clear or any doubt?
I have a doubt. Like, we selected the URL randomly and kept in our project and did like that. Like, the same way, like, can we do the Google and put it in our application and run it?
Yes, yes, yes. Simply we can change this URL.
Okay.
Whatever URL, even I have one more application, simply it will get the channels from the YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. Even I have a data also for that, but it is somewhat simple when compared with that. So that's why I given this URL. Just you need to replace this. There are a number of and different types of this. Forget about the
Okay.
URL. Whatever URL, just
Okay.
simply it will get the data, it will load the data. Even see
Okay.
the response code what you got.
200
200
error.
Texas.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now what I want to do here, come to your code, uh, yeah, in service URL, I'm giving some spell mistake or something, added some Async movie, something else.
Okay.
Now run this, come to monitor, just clear the logs, come to here, just click, data loaded. What is the response code you got?
4.
Okay, means somewhat error.
Yeah.
Means that URL has some wrong, means that URL is not available. Based on the response
Okay.
no.
If we directly give the normal URL, it will automatically pop up and we can use it, right?
Yes. Okay. So
Okay.
now, is it
Okay.
clear what is asynchronous task?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the purpose of the
There are
asynchronous
there.
task to do
Mm-hmm.
operations in background thread.
Okay.
Okay. Here it's taking
After the pre-execution, when we want to do something in background, it does in background, and
yes.
after that, it goes to post-execution.
Yes. First, it will come to on pre-execute. In on pre-execute,
Mm-hmm.
just I have showed some data. After on
Mm-hmm.
pre-execute, control will comes to do in background. Usually, this do in background, whatever operations you want to perform on background thread, those we need to
Okay.
write on the do in background.
Okay.
Okay, and we cannot perform any UI operations here.
Okay.
Okay, after
It will
completion,
just show whatever UI is there. It will directly show that.
no, 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 no. These methods we need to override these methods.
Okay.
Okay, so after
Okay.
completion of doing background, I'm returning some response. That response is what type of type? String
String.
type. So that's why here I mentioned string.
Okay.
And here I'm returning string, that's why I mentioned. Suppose if I
Okay.
return some different type, then here we need to change, here also we need to change.
Okay.
Okay, so depends on
Okay.
return type and depends on the receive type, we need to mention these two.
Okay.
Next one, suppose here if you receive some integer value, here we have to declare one integer.
Okay.
Depends on the
Same
return
string
type.
integer.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Is it clear what is asynchronous task?
Yeah. I got clear.
And is it clear how to load the data?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And is it clear how to parse the data? Means convert the data input stream to stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Buffer the string now
Yes.
into actually that
After this session,
buffering
please do
into
some
the
practice.
normal string.
Okay. Any doubts?
No, no.